20 years, Dominic Ongwen has been with the LRA, and it just came to us by surprise that he handed himself over to the Seleka rebels, who also handed him over to the U.S. forces. I want to know, he has been in your custody for 6 days. Where is he and what next for him?
Well, I'm very pleased to say that Dominic Ongwen is now in the custody of the Uganda People's Defense Force in Central African Republic as part of their responsibilities towards the African Union Regional Task Force, which is the African Union's task force to counter the LRA. They've taken custody of him from the Special Forces today.
Dominic Ongwen has been in the U.S. custody for 6 days. And we know that the Ugandan forces have tried to ask him to be handed over. What was going on in the back seat?
Well, I think anybody who asks why it takes so long for governments to figure something like that out has never worked in government before. It's not easy. So what I can tell you is this. Central African Republic political leadership, Uganda's political leadership, the United States, the International Criminal Court, and the African Union all agreed when Ongwen fell into our hands, fortunately, they all agreed on the same goal. We all had the same goal, and that was to make sure that Dominic Ongwen faced justice, right? And so you would think, oh, that's easy, just make that happen. Well, there are a lot of legal aspects of a situation like this. We want Dominic Ongwen to face justice, and that means we need to make sure that there are no legal loopholes or technicalities or some mistakes made along the way that would allow his future legal team to somehow help him escape facing justice. I think we've got a great plan in place right now, and we're moving forward. My understanding is that they have agreed that after a period of time in which the UPDF will be given to question Ongwen, to debrief him, that he'll be transferred to the Central African Republican government, who will then transfer him to the International Criminal Court in The Hague.
Ongwen, let's talk about his legal team. Have you received confirmation that he has been given a legal team to represent him in the ICC, and who is going to shoulder this?
I don't have any detail on that, no. I think there were issues of making sure that the transfer of custody was done in a proper way. For example, part of the process today was we had to make sure that he had a medical check so that no one could say that he'd been mistreated in U.S. custody. That was an important part. I didn't know about that before yesterday. I think there were other aspects of, different countries have different legal systems. For example, a good example, the Ugandan legal system, the United States legal system are both based on British common law, case law, essentially is what we call it, right? Whereas the CAR legal system is a French legacy, Napoleonic law. And I might be wrong about that, but I know the systems have very different structures. So how do we marry those up in terms of making sure everything works properly? And then the ICC has certain requirements as they go forward. So all of this, I think, was difficult to navigate, but not impossible.
All right, the U.S. put $5 million for this guy's head. Who is it going to? Is it the Seleka rebels or?
Everybody wants to know that, and I have to tell everybody the same answer. For security and for legal reasons, we never discuss who does or does not actually get parts of our Rewards for Justice program.
There have been arguments that this guy was abducted at the age of 10 and therefore should not go through trial and all that. That should be considered. Do you share the same sentiments?
Well, pardon me, I think it's certainly very interesting. Since the early 2000s, Dominic Ongwen's been used as sort of an example of what do we do with someone who may have committed war crimes but may have been the victim of war crimes himself. I mean, even at 10 years old, I'm sure your mother had a chance, and mine did too, to teach me some semblance of what was right and wrong. And I know that those war crimes may have affected his decisions afterwards. But it's the effort he made to move up in the LRA and to be successful, if you will, although it's a terrible word to use in association with that. I think that's the factor that makes me feel like he needs to face justice.
Daniel Travis, thank you so much for this Q&A session that we had with you.